There is a moment in every life when the weight of the world seems too heavy to bear, when the heart is burdened with the chains of self-pity. We find ourselves drowning in the sorrow of our own minds, paralyzed by the belief that our struggles are insurmountable. But know this, self-pity is not a refuge. It is a poison that shackles the soul, making us weak, blind to our own strength. You are not defined by your misfortune, nor by the trials that seek to break you. Resilience is not a gift bestowed upon the fortunate, but a strength cultivated by those who choose to stand tall in the face of adversity. It is in the darkest moments that our true power is revealed. Cast aside the illusion of helplessness, for within you lies the power to rise, to transform suffering into fortitude, to become unshaken by the storms of life. The path is not easy, but it is yours to walk, if only you have the courage to take that first step. The traps of self-pity. Breaking free from the cycle. Self-pity is a dangerous illusion, a trap that holds the heart hostage. In moments of struggle, we are often tempted to dwell in the darkness of our own pain, to succumb to the seductive comfort of despair. We tell ourselves that the weight we carry is too much to bear, that no one understands, that the world has been unfair. We wear our suffering like a badge, believing it grants us the right to wallow in weakness. But this is the greatest lie we can tell ourselves. To give in to self-pity is to deny the power that lies dormant within us. It is to forget that we are capable of rising above, that every hardship, every failure, and every pain is an opportunity for growth. Self-pity convinces us that we are victims of circumstances, helpless to change the course of our lives. It convinces us that the world owes us something, that the suffering we endure is not of our own making, and that others should carry the burden with us. This mindset feeds our insecurities and magnifies our fears, but in truth, nothing could be further from the reality. The Stoic teaches us that suffering is a natural part of life, one that cannot be avoided. It is in the acceptance of hardship, in the acknowledgement of our vulnerability, that we find true strength. We are not here to escape pain, but to embrace it and use it as a catalyst for transformation. When we choose to face our challenges with courage, rather than cowering in self-pity, we become masters of our own fate. The first step toward breaking free from the trap of self-pity is to confront the stories we tell ourselves. Ask yourself, how much of my suffering is rooted in my perception, and how much of it is real? Self-pity often arises from the narrative we build around our pain. We inflate our problems, make them seem insurmountable, and build walls around ourselves that only isolate us further. We become prisoners in our own minds, trapped by the belief that we are powerless. But here's the truth. The pain you feel is not an excuse to remain stagnant. It is an invitation to grow. The obstacles in your path are not there to crush you, but to teach you the art of resilience. When you stop identifying with your suffering and start recognizing it as a stepping stone, the very things that once seemed overwhelming begin to lose their power over you. It is not the circumstances that define us, but how we respond to them. Remember, the wise Stoic does not look at the storm and lament its fury. They prepare themselves to endure it, to rise above it, and to remain calm amid the chaos. They understand that pain is temporary, but the strength forged through endurance is eternal. When you stop indulging in self-pity, you begin to reclaim your power. You stop waiting for the world to change, and instead you change yourself. You stop asking why this is happening to you, and start asking what this is teaching you. Life is not meant to be free of suffering. It is meant to be a journey of transformation. And it is in our suffering that we learn who we truly are. The choice is yours. Will you remain captive to the illusion of self-pity, or will you break free, rise up and forge your own path with the unshakable strength that is already within you? The power of perspective, choosing how we respond. In every moment of difficulty, we are presented with a choice: to view our circumstances through the lens of defeat or to rise above them with clarity and purpose. The power of perspective is the cornerstone of resilience, for how we choose to see the world shapes the way we experience it. The events that unfold around us are not inherently good or bad. It is our interpretation of them that dictates our response. It is not the suffering itself that weakens us, but the way we allow our minds to be consumed by it. The Stoic teaches us that our greatest strength lies in our ability to choose our reactions. Life is full of uncertainty, pain, and misfortune. But these are not the forces that determine our fate. What truly determines our path is how we meet these challenges. Will we face them with fear and bitterness, or will we see them as opportunities to grow stronger, wiser, and more compassionate? It is within our power to choose our response at any given moment. Take a moment to reflect on the difficulties you have faced in your life. How many of those struggles were truly beyond your control? How many times have you felt helpless, not because the situation was truly hopeless, but because your perception of it led you to believe there was no way forward? The Stoic way is not to deny the presence of adversity, but to confront it with a mindset that transcends it. When we see hardship through the eyes of self-pity, we magnify it, give it dominion over our lives. But when we choose to look at adversity as a chance to test our character, we transform it into a tool for growth. Every challenge we face is a mirror reflecting back to us the depth of our inner strength, the resilience we may not yet know we possess. It is only when we refuse to see ourselves as victims of circumstance that we begin to realize the vast reservoir of power within. Perspective is not merely an abstract concept, it is a practice, an active choice we make each day, and it begins with a simple yet profound truth. The external world cannot control our inner world unless we allow it to. When we accept that we cannot change the past or predict the future, we free ourselves from the weight of regret and fear. We can only control how we respond to the present moment. A Stoic does not deny the reality of pain, but they also do not allow it to define them. In moments of hardship, they ask themselves, "What can I learn from this? How can this experience help me grow? What strength lies hidden in the midst of this struggle?" By shifting our perspective, we open ourselves to the wisdom that resides in the heart of every challenge. Think of the great figures of history, those who faced unimaginable suffering, yet rose above it with dignity, strength, and grace. They did not ignore their pain, nor did they succumb to it. They chose to face it with courage, and in doing so, they transcended it. The true power of resilience is not in the absence of suffering, but in our ability to endure it with a mindset of growth. You are not helpless in the face of adversity. You are the author of your own story, and how you choose to respond to the challenges life presents will define the narrative. When you change your perspective, you change your entire experience of the world. The power to transform your life is not found in waiting for the storm to pass, but in learning to dance in the rain. Resilience over resentment, transforming pain into strength. It is easy to become consumed by resentment in the face of suffering. When life deals us an unfair hand, when others wrong us, when our efforts go unnoticed or unappreciated, the heart often yearns for justice. It longs for an explanation, for a rebalancing of the scales that have tipped too far against us. But to hold on to resentment is to allow the pain of the past to poison the promise of the future. It is to remain trapped in a cycle of bitterness, where our energy is spent on carrying grudges instead of cultivating strength. Resentment, like self-pity, chains us to the past, preventing us from moving forward. The Stoic path offers a different way. It teaches us that true resilience is not born from clinging to our wounds, but from choosing to release them, to transform them into something greater. The act of forgiveness, whether for others or for ourselves, is not an act of weakness, but of profound strength. It is the recognition that our peace and growth are not dependent on external circumstances, but on the mastery of our own inner world. By letting go of resentment, we free ourselves to rise above our pain. To be resilient is to acknowledge the reality of suffering without allowing it to define us. It is to understand that the actions of others, no matter how cruel or unjust, are not reflections of our worth or our potential. We cannot control the behavior of those around us, but we can control how we respond. When we choose resilience over resentment, we take back the power that is rightfully ours. We stop giving others the ability to shape our emotional state, and, instead, we become the creators of our own peace. This does not mean we must pretend that the hurt does not exist. The Stoic does not bury their pain, nor do they ignore it. The pain is real, but so is our capacity to rise above it. When we hold on to resentment, we allow it to fester and grow, infecting our hearts and minds. It clouds our judgment and saps our strength. But when we let go of that resentment, we create space for healing, for clarity, and for the strength to move forward with renewed purpose. Resentment thrives on our attachment to the past. It flourishes when we ruminate on the wrongs done to us, when we replay the scenes of injustice over and over again, convincing ourselves that they are the sum of our lives. But the truth is, the past no longer exists. It is a shadow, a memory, a fleeting moment that has already passed. The Stoic does not dwell on what cannot be changed. Instead, they focus on what is within their power, the present moment, the choices they make, and the way they choose to respond. We all face hardship. We all encounter people who will hurt us, disappoint us, or betray us. But it is not the actions of others that shape who we are. It is our response to those actions. When we choose resilience, we choose to take control of our own narrative. We choose to stop allowing the wrongs of others to dictate the course of our lives. We choose to rise above the pain and use it as a stepping stone for personal growth. Resilience is not about becoming numb to the world's injustices. It is about becoming stronger in the face of them. It is about transforming our pain into wisdom, our wounds into sources of strength. Every moment of suffering is an opportunity to become more, to be shaped into a better version of ourselves. In the crucible of adversity, the Stoic finds not weakness, but the forging of character. The resilience they cultivate is a shield that protects them from bitterness, and a sword that enables them to carve their path with clarity and purpose. Let go of the resentment that binds you. Release the anger, the regret, the sense of being wronged. In doing so, you will find that you are no longer a prisoner of your pain. You will become the master of your own fate, unshaken by the winds of injustice. Resilience, not resentment, is the true path to freedom. Choose to transform your pain into power, and in doing so, you will rise higher than you ever thought possible. The inner strength we all possess. Tapping into our true potential. Too often we look outside ourselves for strength, seeking it in external achievements, the validation of others, or in the pursuit of fleeting comforts. We forget that the most powerful force we can rely on is the one that resides within us, the strength of our character, the resilience of our spirit, the unwavering resolve that lies dormant, waiting to be awakened. The Stoic teaches us that true strength does not come from what we have, but from who we are. It is not measured by the things we accumulate, but by the depth of our inner fortitude. This strength is not some rare gift given to a select few, but an inherent quality we all possess. It is the quiet power that resides in our ability to endure hardship, to rise from failure, to persevere through pain, and to remain steadfast in our. It is the courage to face life's storms with an unshaken heart, knowing that no external circumstance can define our worth. The greatest source of strength is not the ability to avoid suffering, but the courage to face it head-on and grow from it. In every challenge there lies an opportunity for us to tap into this inner strength. The trials we face are not barriers to our potential, but pathways to discovering the vast power within. Each obstacle we encounter is an invitation to reveal the courage, wisdom, and perseverance that we are capable of. We are not defined by the hardships we endure, but by how we respond to them. And in every response rooted in strength, we cultivate even greater power. The first step toward unlocking this strength is to acknowledge it. Too often we doubt ourselves, believing that others are more capable, more resilient, more strong. We compare ourselves to those around us, failing to see the unique strength we each possess. But the truth is, no one else knows your journey, your struggles, or your heart. No one else can know the depth of your resilience, because it is something that is yours alone to discover. Start by quieting the noise of the world, the voices that tell you what you should be, who you should become, or what you should achieve. Strip away the distractions and external expectations and turn inward. Listen to your own heart, your own voice, your own instincts. The strength you seek is already there, beneath the surface, waiting for you to recognize it. It has always been there, even when you doubted yourself. Resilience is not the absence of fear or pain. It is the courage to move forward despite them. It is the inner resolve that says, I will not be defeated. I will rise no matter how many times I fall. Every time you face a setback, every time you endure hardship, you are strengthening the muscles of your spirit. You are building endurance for the next challenge, forging a resilience that cannot be broken. The Stoic does not wait for the world to change before they act. They understand that their power lies not in waiting for circumstances to be perfect, but in rising to meet them as they are. It is in the facing of adversity, the grappling with uncertainty, that our true strength is revealed. And with each act of resilience, we come closer to realizing the full potential of who we are. Your strength is not something that can be taken away, for it is not dependent on external factors. It is a part of you, a constant presence that is always there, even when you cannot see it. The more you trust in it, the more you allow it to guide you, the more you will see how capable you truly are. You are not at the mercy of life's circumstances. You are the master of your own strength, and in that mastery you find the power to overcome anything that comes your way. Embrace the power that lies within you. Trust in it, nurture it, and let it guide you through every trial and tribulation. You have everything you need to rise above, to transform pain into growth, to turn challenges into triumphs. Your true strength is waiting for you to acknowledge it, and when you do, nothing in the world will be able to stop you. Embrace the struggle. Growth lies in adversity. In a world that often seeks comfort, it is easy to view struggle as something to avoid, something to flee from at all costs. We crave ease, stability, and peace. Yet, it is in the very struggles we seek to avoid that our greatest growth occurs. The Stoic knows that life's adversities are not burdens to bear, but opportunities to become who we are meant to be. It is through the fire of struggle that the soul is forged, through the weight of difficulty that strength is cultivated. Adversity is not an obstacle, it is a teacher. The very hardships we face, whether they be personal, professional, or emotional, carry within them lessons that shape our character. It is in overcoming these challenges that we learn our true potential, that we discover the depths of our resilience, our wisdom, and our courage. To embrace struggle is to accept that pain and difficulty are integral to the process of becoming stronger, wiser, and more grounded. The Stoic does not shrink from adversity. They face it with open arms. They understand that avoiding hardship does not lead to peace, but to stagnation. It is only by stepping into the discomfort of life that we can truly grow. Every struggle you face is a chance to rise to the occasion, to test the limits of your strength, and to sharpen your mind. The wise Stoic is not afraid of hardship, but sees it as an ally, a necessary force that drives them toward greater understanding, and personal growth. This does not mean that the struggle is easy, or that it is something we should seek for its own sake. Pain and hardship are real, and they are often excruciating. But it is our response to these difficulties that defines us. We are not broken by adversity unless we allow ourselves to be. It is in the midst of suffering that we are given the opportunity to decide who we will become. Will we let adversity defeat us, or will we rise stronger, more grounded, and more capable than before? There is a beauty in struggle, one that cannot be understood without experiencing it firsthand. The struggle humbles us, teaches us patience, resilience, and perseverance. It forces us to look inward and tap into the deep reserves of strength that we often fail to acknowledge. The person who has faced hardship and emerged from it stronger is not the same person who entered it. They are more than they were before. They are wiser, more compassionate, more resilient. The Stoic reminds us that life's most valuable lessons are learned in the most difficult of circumstances. When we face struggle with grace, with resolve, and with the knowledge that this moment will pass, we transform ourselves. Each challenge we endure adds to the tapestry of our lives, weaving a story of strength, growth, and wisdom. You may not always be able to control the struggles that come your way, but you can control your response. You can choose to face them head-on, to learn from them, to grow through them. In every moment of struggle, there is an opportunity to become more resilient, more focused, more grounded in your own inner strength. The next time you find yourself in the midst of hardship, remember that this is where you will find your growth. This is where you will discover what you are truly made of. Embrace the struggle not as a burden, but as a necessary part of the journey. The discomfort you feel today is the strength you will carry with you tomorrow, and with each challenge you face, you will rise higher, stronger, and more capable than you ever imagined. The discipline of consistency, small actions, lasting results. In the pursuit of resilience, there is a common misconception that change must happen in grand, sweeping gestures. We wait for the moment of dramatic transformation, the lightning bolt of motivation that will push us into greatness, but the true power of resilience lies not in momentary bursts of strength, but in the quiet, consistent actions we take every day. It is the discipline of small, intentional efforts that builds lasting results. The Stoic understands that true progress is not achieved through sporadic feats of willpower, but through the steady, unwavering commitment to show up every single day. Resilience is not built overnight. It is the result of the small, seemingly insignificant decisions we make day after day, even when no one is watching. It is the ability to remain focused, to stay disciplined, even when the path ahead seems long and arduous. Every small action, every choice to rise instead of retreat, every decision to keep moving forward despite the obstacles is a step towards strengthening our character. The Stoic does not seek immediate gratification, nor do they expect instant results. They understand that progress is a process, a slow and steady journey that requires patience and persistence. They know that the key to lasting change lies not in the intensity of a single effort, but in the consistency of their actions over time. The greatest triumphs are the sum of the smallest steps, taken day after day without fail. The practice of consistency is not glamorous. It is not marked by dramatic moments or instant accolades. It is the quiet perseverance that continues even when the results are not immediately visible, even when the progress seems too slow to notice. It is the act of showing up every day, doing the work, and trusting that the fruits of your labor will come in time. This discipline of consistency is what separates those who endure from those who falter. It is easy to be motivated when the path is clear and the rewards are immediate, but true resilience is forged in the moments when the rewards are not yet visible, when the journey feels long and the end is nowhere in sight. It is in those moments that the Stoic remains steady, committed, and unwavering. To cultivate this consistency, we must learn to focus not on the end result, but on the process itself. The journey is the destination. Each small action, each small effort compounds over time, creating momentum that leads to great change. Do not be discouraged by the pace of progress. Trust that every small step forward is building towards something greater. There will be days when you feel as though your efforts are in vain, when the weight of the journey seems too much to bear. But it is precisely during these moments that your resilience is being tested and strengthened. The Stoic knows that success is not measured by the ease with which you travel, but by your ability to keep moving, even when the road is long and difficult. Commit yourself to the daily discipline of consistency, whether it is in your work, your health, your relationships, or your personal growth. The small actions you take today will shape the person you become tomorrow. Remember, resilience is not about how quickly you rise, but how consistently you rise, time and time again. It is through the consistent efforts of today that you will build the strength to face whatever tomorrow brings. The Stoic does not wait for the perfect moment to begin, nor do they seek instant results. They understand that every day is an opportunity to take another step forward, no matter how small. The power lies not in the size of the effort, but in the consistency with which you make it. And with each step you take, you build a foundation that will carry you through even the most difficult of trials.